An operator is a symbol that tells Python to perform a certain operation. You can think of them like road signs in real life. For example, suppose you're driving on a dangerous road and you spot an alert sign to reduce speed. Then you encounter a stop sign, and finally, a sign instructing you to turn right. You may not have realized that you were on a dangerous road. These symbols help keep you safe by instructing you to perform a specific operation. Similarly, when Python comes across an operator that you place in your code, it will also perform that specific operation. These operations can be mathematical, logical, and comparison. In this video, you'll learn about math and logical operators in Python. Most of the time, operators work on two values. Math operators are used for simple and complex calculations. It's essentially all the same options as the calculator would have. Let me explain this with examples of math and logical operators. The first operator I want you to know about is the addition or plus operator. The plus sign is a symbol that you must use when adding numbers together. For example, 2 plus 3. To subtract numbers from each other, you use the subtraction or minus operator. Use the minus sign to subtract numbers. An example of this is 3 minus 2. The division operator is next, and the symbol you use for it is a /. Division is an operation in which one number is divided by another. For example, 35 divided by 5. The last operator you need to know about is the multiplication operator, and the symbol you use for that is the star or asterisk key. Use this to multiply numbers with each other. For example, 7 multiplied by 4. Okay, now let's explore logical operators. Logical operators are used in Python on conditional statements to determine a true or false outcome. Let's explore some of these now. The first logical operator is named AND. This operator checks for all conditions to be true. For example, A is greater than 5 and A is less than 10. The second logical operator is named OR. This operator checks for at least one of the conditions to be true. For example, A is greater than 5 or B is greater than 10. The final operator is named NOT. This operator returns a false value if the result is true. For example, A is not greater than 5. Operators are usually combined with conditional statements to control the flow of a program that meets specific criteria. For example, let's say a restaurant gives discounts based on the following two conditions. Is the customer part of the loyalty program? And did they spend over $100? To determine this, you can write code using logical operators to check if the customer is in the loyalty program and if they spent over $100. You'll learn more about conditional statements in a later lesson. Now, let me demonstrate how to use Python, math, and logical operators. Math operators basically give you the same functionality as what you have on a standard calculator, so you can perform operations like addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. I start with a simple addition example. I'm using the print statement, so the output displays on my console. I type print, and in parentheses, I add 2 plus 2. The value I expect back is 4. When I run this statement, the value of 4 displays in the terminal. For subtraction, I change the plus sign to a minus sign. I click on the run button and the value displayed is 0. If I subtract 2 minus 2, the answer is 0. For division, I change the minus sign to a /. I type 35 /5 in the parentheses. I click the run button and the result is the value of 7.0. Just a note on this, the value returned is a float instead of an integer. Now let's cover multiplication. I change the / to a star sign that represents multiplication. I type 25 asterisk 5. I click on the run button and get back the value of 175. That was a short introduction to the math operators. Next, you'll explore logical operators. Logical operators are used to control the flow of your application. The logical operators are AND, OR, and NOT. Let's cover the different combinations of each. In this example, I declare two variables. A equals true and B also equals true. From these variables, I use an if statement. I type if A and B colon, and on the next line I type print, and in parentheses and double quotes I type all true. You'll learn about the if statement shortly, but for now, just know that this print statement will only be executed if both A and B are true. The print statement of all true is displayed in the terminal. If I change the value of B to false and I run the statement again, nothing gets printed out. The reason for it is that the AND statement as a condition needs both A and B to be true so that it will print out the statement. Now let's cover the OR operator. So I'm changing AND to OR and I click on the Run button. The all true value has been printed out again. The reason for it is that with the OR operator, if either A or B is true, the if statement is true. If I set the values of both variables to false and click on the Run button, nothing gets printed out. This is because A is false and B is false, so the condition in the if statement has not been met. In this last example, I'm going to demonstrate the NOT operator. I'll keep the OR operator. Before OR, I type if not A in parentheses, then OR, then not B in parentheses, followed by a colon. I click on the Run button and the value returned is all true. And what that's doing is it's looking for a negation against A, so not A is not false, which is true, and the OR, a negation of B, which results in true. The OR condition checks to see if either is true. Now I change the A and the B to be true. I click on Run and nothing gets printed out. The reason for that is that it's checking again for if not A, essentially if A is not true. In this case, A is true and its negation is false, so it's not going to meet that condition. Or not B also results in false and does not meet that condition as well because both are the negation of true. This is still not going to print out any value because again, none of the conditions are being met. And that's a brief introduction to using both math and logical operators in Python. Congratulations. In this video, you learned about math and logical operators. Great job. If you'd like to learn more about math operators in Python, there's an additional reading at the end of this lesson.